am welcoming you again to our live session. This time is our third episode, and this time we're going to talk a little bit about apartments and things you should know basically about having an apartment in Germany, in Leipzig. You can feel free to write down in your comments any question that you have, even if you're watching later, because we can take those questions and answer them in our following live sessions, because these live sessions are going to happen every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Eastern Time. So, Central European Time, I meant. My name is Ellen Levine. I am the owner of Ofek. For those of you who don't know, we are doing relocation from everywhere in the world to Leipzig. We're helping everyone who needs it with the language, with bureaucracy, with planning, with just understanding how to even do this process. It can be quite intimidating, quite stressful, but this is what we're here for. I actually relocated 6 years ago from Israel, so I have some experience myself knowing how stressful this can be, but this is why we're here to help you. So if you want to have more information about relocation, maybe about Germany, maybe about Leipzig, make sure you subscribe to this channel and make sure that you like this video, because that's how you would get notified that we have live sessions and even other videos that we are doing regularly. And check our website, because there we have everything for you, also blog posts and so on. I'm gonna start quickly with the questions. Normally it's 10 minutes, so let's jump into those questions. First question that I would like to present from what I've already collected before is, when should you start looking for an apartment? So let's say you know you're going to come in January, but you want to start looking for an apartment because you really want to have something when you're coming, and you already start in September. I would say that is not really a good idea. The reason is, it is way too early. This is something that takes a while for people to put up the apartments and to put up the ads on everywhere, actually, on the websites, on Facebook, on groups, whatever it is. People don't know in September yet that in January the apartment is going to be free. In general, the rule is there are contracts. Normally it's long-term contracts, and if somebody wants to leave the apartment, they give a 3-month notice. But the homeowner or the company who is responsible for the apartment not necessarily immediately going to start looking for renters or for new renters. There could be several cases. It could be that the apartment is then, after the evacuation of the apartment, being renovated. Could take 1 month, 2 months. It depends on the length of and how depth the renovation is. It could be that those who are giving away the apartment would like to find the new renter so that they could sell maybe their kitchen, maybe their other furnitures. So then they will decide when the viewing will start. And in general, it is roughly not a good time to start 4 months in advance to look for an apartment. It probably is gonna look to you as if nothing exists. There's no way you're gonna find an apartment, and you start your journey with already some depression and bad feelings about this. So what do I recommend? I recommend at least 2 months before, but I would even take 1.5 months, because this is when those ads are starting to pop up. The viewings are starting to happen. So I would definitely beforehand maybe have the focus on which neighborhoods I want to move into, and understand the surrounding a bit more, but really actively start looking for apartments not before 2 months. When it comes to January, it's a bit of a pickle, because We have December, which is not really a month, maybe like a half a month to actually go and look for apartments, because kind of 2 weeks before the end of the year is where people take vacations, and it's not really the best time to look for apartments. So in case of January, I would start, if you want to come in the beginning of January, I would go beginning of November, start looking for apartments, maybe 1 or 2 weeks earlier, but not before. You won't see anything. You won't see any ads about this. And you have to also understand the market now is a bit tough. It's becoming very hard to find apartments, especially in Leipzig, just because it's a very wanted city. A lot of people are coming here from all over Germany, all over the world actually. And it also depends on which kind of apartment you're looking for, but it can be very challenging. That's the first question. The second question that I want to address is, what are the house rules? So obviously every building can have its own house rules, but if you want to talk about a general idea of house rules that you should at least have in your mind when you're renting an apartment, one of them is the noise. So you might heard of it before. There are times that are basically times that you are not supposed to make any loud noise, and it again can change a bit when it comes to every building, but in general it is late at night, so after 10, 11 until 6 to 7 a.m. roughly. If we're talking about workers like those who are taking out the trash and so on, 7 a.m. is when they are allowed to start. And I think from the police area, 11 p.m. is when they are starting to be kind of agitated when somebody is calling about noise. And also during the day, you have 2 hours. I've heard between 1 till 3, I've heard between 2 to 4, but this is the time when basically you are also not supposed to make a lot of noise, because this is resting time, especially for those who are pensioners and living in buildings, so this can be somewhat annoying for them. Also, something super important for every building in Germany in general, recycling. So this is something that I had to learn from the start, because in Israel, when I was living there, there was no recycling and we didn't divide our trash. So you actually have to divide your trash. It is very, very bad if you don't do it. It can actually cause some extra payments for the whole building. So just because if you're putting plastic in the organic trash bin, this can have some serious implication from the city department. I have seen it myself. In our last apartment that we've been to, we got some notification on the door where the trash were, and which said, if you won't stop throwing plastic to your organic trash, you would have to remove the trash yourself. So basically taking those huge bins and bring them all the way to the huge recycle area. And that can take 6 months until they come back to pick up the trash from our building. So really make sure you understand the rules of recycling. You can find it all over, but this is something you have to put in mind when you're coming here. There are probably a lot more, or not that a lot, but most likely when you are going into your new apartment, you are going to get a list of things you should take care of when you are going into the new apartment. I've seen it many times. The companies that are responsible for those apartments are just handing those flyers with all the information that you need to know, also about mold, also about the heating and how you should treat it, also about the windows and how you should have Luftung. This is the term in German, basically to air out your rooms and how often and so on. So make sure you understand those rules because they are very, very important. But probably in your building there would be some other rules that maybe other buildings won't have. So make sure you understand them, and if you don't, and you don't speak German, and you don't know how to actually go about this, make sure you have somebody with you who speaks German. This is where we come in and we can help you. So I'm gonna stop now because I've already been to the 10 minutes that I've allocated to this live. Make sure you write your questions if you have any more of them in the comments, or just come to our website and talk to us directly. We can help you with finding an apartment, with understanding the contract, with understanding everything that you're being told when you're giving the apartment and the keys and so on. So make sure that your relocation journey is being done the best way possible, because this is what makes everything different afterwards. So I hope you got something good out of this video. I am really happy that you've seen it, and I hope to see you next time in the live, because then you have a chance to write in a comment some questions, and I don't have to come up with my with the questions myself, even though I have enough of them. But I really want to have some interaction with you as well in live. So thank you so much for being here. I hope to see you next time.